step and pause, step and pause. Stretch it out a little bit. You got it? Like step.
night, I dreamed a dream. I was walking along the beach with my Lord. Across the dark sky flashed scenes from my life. For each scene, I noticed two sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to me and one to my Lord. When the last scene of my life shot before me, I looked back at the footprints in the sand. There was only one set of footprints. I realized that this was at the lowest and the saddest times of my life. This always bothered me, and I questioned the Lord about my dilemma. Lord, you told me when I decided to follow you, you'd walk and talk with me all the way. But I'm aware that during the most troublesome times of my life, there's only one set of footprints. I just don't understand why. When I need you the most, you leave me. He whispered, my precious child, I love you and will never leave you, never ever, during your trials and testings. When you saw only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you.
Ephesians 2-8-9. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is a gift of God, and not by works, so that no one can boast. And How Do I Love Thee by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach, when feeling out of sight, for the ends of being an ideal grace. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need, by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as they turn from praise. I love thee as they turn. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old griefs and with my childhood's fate. I love thee with the love I seem to lose, with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life, and if God choose, I shall love thee better after death.
If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always preserves. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in mirror, then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully grown. And now these three remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love.
Their story proves that no matter how far down the road of life you go, or whatever your circumstances may be, God can still find a way to bless you. And blessed is exactly what they feel. Blessed to have their person, blessed to know each other. I remember the giddiness, almost schoolgirl giddiness, with which my grandmother told me that I would be meeting her boyfriend for the first time. I was very surprised. Her enthusiasm was only matched by Roy when I met him. Roy, do you take Carolyn to be your wife? Do you promise to love, comfort, honor, and keep her in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, be faithful to her as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Now, Carolyn, Grandma, do you take Roy to be your husband? Do you promise to love, comfort, honor, and keep him in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, be faithful to him as long as you both shall live?
I certainly will.
Carolyn and Roy will now exchange rings. These rings are a symbol of the commitment that they are making to one another today. They're made from precious metals, which symbolizes the solemn oath that they are taking. These rings will seal their union with one another. Now, Roy, please place the ring on the index finger of Carolyn's left hand and repeat after me. So, Roy, please repeat after me.
Okay.
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a symbol of my love
as a symbol of my love
and as a daily reminder
and as a daily reminder
of my commitment to you.
of my commitment to you. I like to say, I love this woman.
Now, Carolyn, please place the ring on the index finger, or the ring finger, I keep saying index, that's the wrong finger, of Roy's left hand and repeat after me. Roy, I give you this ring
Roy, I give you this ring.
as a symbol of my love
It's some more love.
and as a daily reminder
It's a belly.
of my commitment to you.
It's my commitment to you.
Carolyn and Roy, I'm so pleased that you are taking this step today to join yourselves together for the rest of your lives. My prayer for you is that your lives would be filled of laughter, adventure, and moments that strengthen the bond that you two have. Now, by the power vested in me, hold on. By the power vested in me by the state of Illinois, I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my delight to introduce for the first time Roy and Carolyn Azzarello.
So he could be in the picture.
Yeah.
And you had to
Hey, where'd your mom go?
She's in here.
Oh my gosh, is that gorgeous?
We're gonna be hitting the glass a lot.
Kiss her cheek. Kiss her cheek. Oh, so sweet. Oh, that was so cute. One more. Okay.
Oh, I couldn't get to it.
You gotta go.
You look beautiful. So cute. Got it. Is it good? Yeah. Yeah. Going with that one. Adorable.
Jerry's a vegetarian. Jerry's been a vegetarian.
You look sharp and thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Maria, daughter of the beautiful bride. When my mom mentioned that she met someone at the senior center, I was skeptical. He's a younger man, she said, and when I asked how young, she said he's 83.
1 year.
She met him in the hallway and she asked him to join her and her friends for dinner twice. And twice he said no. But the third time's a charm, and he joined her for dinner. and from there, their beautiful love story began. Together they attended church services and book groups, played trivia, took walks outside. Roy regaled my mom with stories of him growing up in Chicago and how to avoid heat and snakes in Arizona. My mom tells me Roy tells great jokes. I can attest to that. And she says that she loves his smile. She says that he is very kind and patient, and he really listens to her. Rory has told me that my mom is loving and kind and selfless. She has such a beautiful heart, and I can attest to that. They love and they take care of each other. Isn't love grand? There are no age limits to it. It's inspiring to see the two of you, and that it's never too old to fall in love. So let us raise a toast to the beautiful couple, my mom with her younger man.
1 year. 1 year and 10 months, no.
To be able to find your soulmate is a true blessing at any age. Thank you for sharing your blessing of love and happiness with all of us.
Cheers.
Saying congratulations to Roy and Carolyn. Reminds me of a scripture, Romans 8:28. All things work together for good to them that love the Lord. I met Carolyn in a Bible study, and I learned quickly Carolyn liked to be busy. Carolyn always said yes to any committee at church or mission. I was usually asked to help. Whether delivering gifts to disadvantaged children or making donuts for after-service coffee hour, etc. Carolyn was always willing to help others by volunteering. Thanks, Carolyn, for making Karen and I a wonderful part of your memories and service to others. To Roy, what did you do? Be ready, Roy, because you're going to go places you've never thought of, and you're going to do things you've never thought of. Because Carolyn, she always has a way of helping others, and she has an unstoppable, her heart is just so big, and she just cares so much for everybody. It's just been a pleasure to know her, and I think that you're going to have some fun with Carolyn. She's going to present a new life to you. So today we're gathered to see Carolyn and Roy wed because of the love that they have for each other. Pearl Black summed up love this way: love cannot be forced, love cannot be coaxed and teased. It comes out of heaven, unmasked and unsought. So let us raise our glasses to Roy and Carolyn, congratulating them on this blessed event.
Yeah, I'm Jerry, and my wife Bonnie. And Roy and I first met at LaGrange High School when we were sophomores, and that was in 1953. That was a long time ago. But we actually met as we were going into our first class on biology, and we looked around, and all the tables, chairs were filled. The only thing left was in the front row, right under the eyes of the teacher, Mrs. Warner. So we sat down together and we talked, and then we kept seeing each other and talking with each other, and then we found out that Roy and I were only about 4 blocks away from each other. So Roy said, why don't I come by your house in LaGrange, and we can walk to the high school, which was about a mile, so uphill both ways. But that was fun. We had fun walking to the high school and back. Then as we got to know each other even better, I was in a Christian group from high school there, and we met in someone's home. And so I asked Roy one day, would you like to go to this high C group that I'm involved in? So he said, oh, yeah, sure, that's good. So we walked another mile and went down to the home where we had 40, 50 some kids there. And that was very enjoyable, and Roy got to meet a lot more Christian friends. And we kept going there, and it was there that I think Roy was introduced to the gospel and what you had to do to ask Christ to come into your life, and he did that, and is still very strong about it today. So thankful for that. Then some of the extracurricular activities we would, go to the high school football, basketball games, and sometimes we would wind up down into an athletic field, and Roy said, I'll bet I can beat you in a race. I said, no, I don't think you can do that. It was about 50 yards, and so we took off. Roy took off like a scared rabbit, and I thought, holy cow, I gotta get moving here. So just before we reached our goal line, I went across and turned around, and there's Roy back there going totally out of breath. And he said, well, we got to race again. So we kept doing that. And finally I decided, it's not right to beat your best friend all the time. So for a couple of times I kind of slowed it up a little bit, and he charged through me and still going. So we had a lot of fun with that. One of the other highlights we had, kind of interesting, was we decided we'd like to go to the Bear football game, a preseason game with Cleveland Browns. So Roy drove, and as we're going into the parking lot, the cop stopped us and said, you guys have your tickets yet? I said, no, we don't have them yet. And he said, well, I happen to have 2 here. It was only a couple dollars apiece. So Roy looked at me, I looked at him, and we kind of nodded and said, wanna? He said, yeah, let's try it. So we gave the cop a couple dollars and went into the stadium. The usher said, let me see your tickets. I thought, uh-oh. We're going to be in a peanut gallery probably. So the usher takes us off and goes down the aisle, and instead of going up, he turns and goes down toward the field. And he stopped at about the 3rd row from the front, right on the 50-yard line. That was exciting, and it never happened to get it. So we had a great time, and then as we kept our friendship going, a number of years later, we would go out to breakfast once in a while, or to McDonald's or wherever. And one morning at McDonald's, I noticed that Roy had a ring on his finger, and it's turquoise with little specks in it there, and I thought, hey, that's a beautiful ring. I like that. Turquoise is one of my favorite colors. So after a little bit, he said, well, do you want it? You can have it. We'll just call it a friendship ring. So I took it, and our friendship has been the same ever since. So it must have been the ring that kind of. So that was some of our experiences that we had a lot of fun with, and it was very enjoyable knowing Roy and continuing to have fellowship with them and going places and doing things that we still do today. And that was 70 years ago. And so, okay, thank all of you for being here today. I thought it was a very beautiful wedding, and when you don't see like too many times in your life, and that's great. I know they both love each other deeply, and that's the main thing. So, Roy, Carolyn, may the Lord bless you, keep you, make His face to shine upon you, and give you peace.
I really need a correct. It was a 50-yard sprint. I hit his butt every time. When I got to be 100 yards, I was shocked. He just had more endurance than I did, but he was never faster than I was.
This is not what you think it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to put up with me now that I'm part of the family. I have a joke. Ready?
We're ready.
Let's see.
Tell us shortest one you know.
I know what I'm This woman died and went to heaven. And when she got there, she encountered St. Peter. He was guarding the gate. She inquired, St. Peter, I need to get into heaven. What do I have to do? And St. Peter said, no problem, it's easy. She says, what? St. Peter said, all you have to do is say a word and spell it. And she said, what word? And St. Peter said, doesn't matter, any word. So she said, love, L-O-V-E. St. Peter said, you can come in now, but give me 5 minutes. I have a small errand to run. We watch the gates just for 5 minutes. She said, sure. So about 2 minutes later, her ex-husband showed up. And she said, what are you doing here? And he said, it was terrible. Automobile accident. Just happened. Next thing I know, here I am. But now I'm here, I gotta get in. Is it hard? And she said, it's not hard, no. He said, well, what do I have to do to get in? She said, spell a word. He inquired, what word? She said, Czechoslovakia.